Andres was checking out a Polestar 2 taking a turn when Autopilot sounded an alarm and automatically applied the brakes. Andres immediately called 911 and got out to make sure the other driver was okay. She was shaken up and told him that a small animal had run out in front of her. Andres sent her the video, but he doesn't think she showed the footage to the police because she was clearly at fault and there was no sign of any animal. Oliver was traveling south on I-5 in Los Angeles, California, when another driver took the turn too fast and lost control of his car. Oliver heard tires screeching and was able to slow down enough to avoid hitting the other car after it bounced off the wall in front of him. Oliver wasn't using autopilot and was driving extra cautiously because he was pulling his Vespa on a trailer behind him. Thankfully, the driver behind him was able to stop in time as well. King Kip was passing a construction zone on Highway 400 when he suddenly saw sparks out of the corner of his left eye. At the time, he thought the sparks might have been from the construction work, but later he realized that didn't make any sense. When he checked the Teslacam footage, he saw that a vehicle lost control, slid sideways, and rammed headfirst into a concrete barrier. The vehicle then continued and hit a truck-mounted attenuator. Jerry had stopped at In-N-Out Burger in Fremont, California. While he was inside getting some food, check out what Sentry Mode on his Model Y caught on video. After a car pulled up, a guy who had apparently lost his belt jumped out and checked out both Jerry's Tesla and the car parked next to it. Eventually, he smashed the window on the car parked next to Jerry's and grabbed 2 backpacks from the back seat. When Jerry walked back to his car, he saw the smashed window and called the police. They arrived at the scene and Jerry gave them a copy of the Sentry Mode video. Heather was heading home from work when she noticed a blue Honda Pilot moving with the flow of traffic. Suddenly, a white Honda Civic sped up and ran into the back of the Honda Pilot. It seems like Hondas are turning on their own now. Heather says she was on the phone with her husband at the time and yelled, "I have a Wham Baam Teslacam video!" Then she hung up to go check on the 2 drivers. Nobody was hurt and she gave a copy of the video to the driver of the Honda Pilot. Cass had owned his Model 3 for just 81 days, not that he was counting or anything. He'd parked his Tesla on the street when it was hit by a car backing out of a driveway. Cass says that the most annoying part was that the driver who hit him was his dad. Here we can actually see Cass running out from the house after hearing the crash. The repair bill was around $2,000 US, but Cass says he still loves his pop. This Model Y owner was at a gas station in Green Bay, California when he witnessed a rather strange event involving a Honda owner. The owner of the Honda was cleaning her windshield at a gas pump when she got a phone call. Apparently she forgot that she still had the pump handle in her car. Hashtag Honda Snap? Sudad was driving his Model Y home from a night out in downtown Detroit. He stopped at a traffic light and found a group of car enthusiasts also stopping at the light. One guy stepped out of a car, pulled out his camera, and filmed while the driver started doing donuts in the middle of the intersection, burning rubber and drifting. Sudad decided to stop and watch, and he made sure to press the save button on his Teslacam. He also turned on some hip-hop music before leaning back and relaxing. That sounds like a great idea, Sudad. A police car pulled up and turned on his emergency lights, and that's when everyone peeled out and fled the scene. Most of the cars ran their respective traffic lights, but the cop didn't pull any of them over. Keo shared this cell phone video with us, which is the only footage he has of an accident involving his Tesla. Unfortunately, the car shut down and was towed away with the SSD still in it. He'd been driving his Model Y in Houston, Texas, when he was struck by another vehicle on his passenger side. He was then pushed into the median, which destroyed both of his right tires. The other driver didn't have any insurance, and the police charged her with driving while intoxicated. Casey recorded this accident within 24 hours of taking delivery of his Model 3, and the California Highway Patrol was super happy to receive a copy of the video. He was driving in Grass Valley, California, when a driver in a minivan crossed over the double yellow lines into oncoming traffic. The minivan first hit a gray Honda before slamming head-on into a red Ford Explorer. Fortunately, everyone involved in the accident was okay. Scott was driving home one afternoon and admits he wasn't really paying attention to what was going on around him. He had Autopilot on and had set it to the speed limit of 75 miles per hour. All of a sudden, a Toyota which was about to overtake him decided to match his speed, blocking a Nissan behind him. Scott didn't want to be involved in whatever was going on between them, so he applied the brakes and gave plenty of room for both of them to go by. After they'd passed him, the Nissan tried to hit the Toyota before getting in front of it and slowing both vehicles way down. Scott moved over to the side of the road, nearly stopping. Again, he really didn't want any part of it. Then the two cars just sped off like nothing ever happened. Travis and Brittany were driving down the highway when they saw an overloaded truck lose a back wheel. They moved to avoid both the truck and the wheel, which rolled past them on the other side of the truck. This might be the coolest Sentry Mode video we've ever received. It's from Bridger, who was speed flying with his buddy. He says it cracked him up that it set off his Tesla's Sentry Mode. Tim was driving his Model 3 in Redding, California, when he witnessed a car getting T-boned as it turned into a parking lot. Tim gave his info to the friend of the accident victim and let him know he had video footage of the crash. Sergio and his wife were driving their Model Y on I-4 heading to buy groceries. Their exit was coming up, so Sergio merged to the right lane in preparation. After making the lane change, he noticed a car speeding up behind him. At first, he didn't pay too much mind because he figured the other driver would either slow down behind him or change lanes. The other driver did end up switching lanes into the exit lane, trying to speed past Sergio. By the time Sergio noticed what was going on, there wasn't enough space for the Nissan to get in front of him, so Sergio closed the gap to force the other driver to merge behind him. That's when the Nissan driver decided to force his way into Sergio's lane by using the shoulder. Sergio quickly got out of the situation and sped away to create some distance. Sergio slowed down to the flow of traffic, and the other driver caught up to him. The Nissan driver cursed and screamed at Sergio through his open window before trying to run him off the road. Sergio wasn't going to let that happen, so he sped up and closed the gap on him again. He then exited and contacted the police, who asked him to email them the footage of the incident. Sergio is glad nobody was hurt, but he says it was super satisfying when his wife flipped the guy the double bird and gave him some very unladylike words of her own. Unfortunately, the police said nothing could be done since no accident or damage had occurred. Charles had rented out his Model Y on the Turo app when Sentry Mode recorded a hit and run. Charles filed a police report and an insurance claim. The driver was cited for hit and run within 48 hours of the incident, thanks to Sentry Mode and the hard work of the local police. The repairs cost $2,000 US, and Charles had to wait a few months for replacement parts. Monster Lab was driving his Model 3 in Brandon, Florida, when he saw a guy hitching a ride on the roof of a BMW. Okay, this must mean it's time for another joke competition. Leave your best joke in the comments about why this guy was on the roof of a BMW. The best joker gets a Wham Baam hoodie, and we'll announce the winner next Sunday. Alex was driving up I-5 when, all of a sudden, he saw a white car crash into the back of a truck's trailer. Alex suspects the other driver wasn't paying attention. Elijah drives his Model 3 as an Uber driver in Nashville, Tennessee. In this video, we can see him pulling up to pick up some passengers. At first they struggle with the door handles, and to be honest, we've all been there. They're a little tricky to use the first time. Elijah ended up giving some instructions to the girl, which she then relayed to the guy trying to get in on the other side. All aboard the Hogwarts Express! Sorry, I got a little carried away there. I meant they were all in the car. But I imagine having a Tesla pull up as your Uber ride would be quite magical. Once they were on their way, they all witnessed a Toyota bump after making a right turn. Elijah says that selfishly, he was glad it was the pickup truck and not him getting bumped. The driver of the Toyota got out to exchange information, so he drove off without offering the footage since he had passengers to deliver. Carlos was headed back home from taking his family to lunch in Seattle, Washington. As they drove into Bremerton, they all witnessed an eagle running over the crosswalk. Wait, what? Hey, Wham Baam, this line can't be right. An eagle running over a crosswalk? That makes no sense. Well, I stand corrected. I guess anything can happen on Teslacam Stories. See you all next time.